unongalanga semlanjeni.
Molweni, bantu abahle, igama lam ndinguvuyiseka Maguga, also known as Love Child, and these are Ekhaya Conversations, right here on Ekhaya Sessions. So as usual, I bring you another awesome, creative, another awesome somebody. Igama lakhe nguSindiso, Sunflower Genge. How are you?
I'm good lover. Yambaxum.
But that's who you are.
Yeah.
A friend, a mother, a partner, a philanthropist. Cool.
Citizen of the year.
Yeah, I understand that. That's you. That's all you.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
poet. First of all, I wanna know where did you meet art and how?
Actually, it's very strange into ne art, especially poetry. No? I didn't know I'm a poet. Yenzeka, I'm doing higher primary.
Okay.
They like music books.
Oh.
Now, all my peers was now I thought song as it. Because every time
No.
I thought it's a norm.
Oh,
That's what people are doing with these
wow.
music books. They're writing their thoughts and they just party pen and
Yeah,
it just
and
comes.
now that I think about it, I don't remember seeing someone else's music book.
Yeah.
So
it
bese
was
ngabona
a thing.
isani, ba?
Yeah. So all my peers, baklawe, now I'm deep within. I'm doing, it's now grade 6, because that's a
Standard
Puma,
four,
a primary. Yeah. So that's where it started this thing of to notice that I actually like this music book thing, because once I'm on it, yeah. So then, when I go grade 7, Dad finds my music book. He calls me. He's like, "Barupalap." I'm like, "I will." Wangum music way. Yeah, what? Did you get me? Go music book. Come look. I do that. Go London. Go music book. Did you know about Balanda was Tandayo? Abanyo Balingoma so brandy, no Tamia. Abanyo Bala, as in the roses are red. Abanyo Bala, as I was in the guy.
Yeah.
And then my dad is like, "Okzingeland." I remember the very first poem that I can still recall. I wrote at the time. It was called Street Kid. Ne? It's at a time whereby there's was tempering English. It was best not days no bold pana. Understand? So now it was written in both Xhosa and English. And then Utata goes to this poem in particular because Ezinye were just short quotes because they were similar. My writing style then was similar to those of Roses Are Red, Violets. So I'd write like 6 lines because I thought
Yeah.
but that one was actually lengthy, yabo. So it's like almost a page. I'd be like, "Why are you writing about street kids?" And then I'm like, "Because I don't like that comment on abalala estratweni, esngaleni, you know, the cardboards, the no food. Like I can't imagine that for anyone, you know." So it was like street kid. I look at you. I see you every day. I see your struggles. I see your tears. It was like a point of acknowledgement that I see how unfair your situation is.
yeah.
Yes, towards you. So that is the angle. A poem. And then my dad was like, "When did you start this?" And I'm like, music book because
And into a lie to go like everybody's
literally
doing it.
all
I
my
mean,
friends
don't, like,
had a music book. And I remember I'm a picture of Ashanti. So I'm like,
it's a thing.
what is this man about? And then Utata was like, "Oh, so you write?" I'm like, "Duh."
I wrote. So
And then he leaves it. And then Divina no mama bethetha. I'm like, "But why am I in trouble for music book?" Yebo. I can't tell babathini, but I can tell
it's about
the music book. I'm like, hey, up. So I'm called again. And then at this point, I'm looking at my brother like, "Man, why didn't you tell me about wrong music book?" Because he didn't have one. So I'm like, why did you tell me about the music book?
Is that it?
So they call me again. And then my mom is like, "Ukuzuyibhale." But my mom is disputing the fact that I wrote it. And then Utata is like, "Do you see lo mntana? But she writes like this." And then umama uthi, "Ngoku buyibhala buyibone phi kuqala?" I'm like, "Yo,
Girl.
kunzima kwa music book, guys." Athi, "Mhlawumbe uyibone TV, kwi-magazine, yandikhawulela." I'm like, "Can't ndiyibone mama, ndicinga olu hlobo ngezi kids." And then it's like a very awkward moment where, as a child, you don't know whether you're in
It's
trouble.
brilliancy,
Yeah.
it's another level of
What?
stupidity.
Yes,
What's
like
going
how
on?
dumb are you?
Yeah.
Or what the hell just happened? And then atutata banam, no, mntanami ingxaki is kule age yakho nqabile umntana uzobhala ngolu hlobo, especially izinto ayijonge ngolu hlobo. Awenzanga nto irongo qha sothukile nomama wakho. Music book, kukho music with the lyrics of this song of these artists that when ubuthetha ngazo. And I'm like, "Nyani? That's all." Like I knew kukho music, but that's it. I thought kukho music
And
love
other
quotes
stuff,
and everything else in between that has to do with writing, what you feel, what you think, and so forth. So I remember ke ngoku xa ndisesikolweni ndifuna ubona music book womntu. Ndisizama itshomi. Abantu babhaji nge-music book. I remember at the time, my school friends were uSizeka, Siswana, and no Tandazwa. Unfortunately, Tandazwa is no longer with us. So uSizeka wayindwebile njengam. Tandazwa is mathele. Ndaqomba uyaxoka uThandazwa. Ngowakhe umusic book ezombona because akazonika into ezininzi. So ndamthi 1 2 1 2 ndangathi Thandazwa masiye endaweni ethile senze into ethile msemsethenga kumama phayana esendini pha esikolweni. Naye athi masamsethenga halfway indawo ndithi amandla bento ethile ndijike ngivula ubhaka wakhe ndifumana umusic book. Really Beyonce songs, Ashanti, Kelly Roll, everything, man. It's just music. It's just ezangoma. Umuntu ubhala lyrics zakhe mazingahle bazivangale zakhe. So, and I was like, and then it's quotes that way. I'm like, wow, okay, this is awkward. And then I'm bad, but like I said, Uthandazwa nam pick up because she was the best candidate for. So, andibhaqe athi ufuna ntoni? Yazi ndikrokrele because umthetho wakho yonqena uyothenga, especially nge-break season phela. Athi ufuna ntoni? Ndithi ke mna ke, hayi man, music book uneento zam. And I was like, how? So I show her my music book, and then she's like, magazine. I'm like, my mom said the same thing. What is it? Why have you copy magazine? So that is where it started, and that's when I knew. Because then I went back home, and then I asked my dad more about, okay, what does this mean? And then no, it means uyathanda ubhala, possibly a writer, and then he referred me to into that I had forgotten, that athi uyakhumbula ndukubhaqe ube incwadi yam. Tatam used to have a lot of romantic novels, especially le khona lo wakhe amthanda ehlenjwe i-bestseller lasis. I think it was Daniela Steele or something. Wayethanda ubhala romantic novels. Athi uyakhumbula ndikhangela incwadi yam kanti iseromeni yakho. Wathi wena you wanted to know 10 nje ndiyafunda because you are also reading it. And then after that he said, you don't have to take them without me knowing. So you don't have to steal the books. You can just tell me about that and baluza malane. Then zoyijonga if it's appropriate for you to read, then I'll borrow you. If it's not, I'll get you something that appropriate. I should have known then, but then I didn't know. But I just thought, I'm done, and you're being curious. And the fact that you were reading it, I didn't really think you were reading it. So, and then that's when I knew, I'm a writer, I'm a poet. And then at the time, years later kwaba khona izinto ezingolintswi poetry on SABC. Then I started to see it.
Full circle
Yeah,
of way
yeah.
that,
And then I loved it, and then I relate. I remember I used to love La Shoka, Kalebu, Latitude, Kaivula, and so forth. And then that is where it began. So it started like that, just at home. But then when I was ready to explore, this is like now I'm like 14. And then my mom was like, no. Does the artist Pumalate? Does the artist this? So it became another struggle. But Kona, as the poet, bani poet yaziyo nemali, you know. Bani poet yayo, you know. So it was just a drag to get to a point where I explore it. But it's something I've been fortunate enough to know from a very young age. And then it was just a work in progress as to how do I get myself in those spaces with those people that I feel I can connect with. So that has been the journey.
So your first poem,
Yes.
you're writing about a street kid,
Yes.
which is I think Ngoku. That's where you are. I think the how can I put it? Lento yoba ungafuni ubona anyone
Yes.
struggling, especially
Yeah.
abantwana,
Yes.
because at least umnomdala uyakwazi
Uyaziphandela,
uzididizela here
yeah.
and there, but umntana uxhomekeka emzalini
Yes.
to make sure. So I think ilenduka art, I don't know, has a way of it dibanise give back. I don't think there's anyone or that has these foundations and stuff onga ongayithandi art
Somewhere, somehow.
iba khona element ye art in there.
Yeah.
Yabo. So I want to know, like, when you wrote la poem, was that like in indaba yoba you want some time in xa kukudala, you wanna give back okanye ngaske wenza into enjena nje for street kids, even if you are a child, but ngaske
If I
uzame
could. Yeah.
uzame to take ezo ngxaki banazo. Has it always been like that, like from that age okanye yinto that uye wakhula later into?
I would say, as much as at that age, I didn't understand it the way I understood it as an adult. I would say, looking back, it's something that has always been there. Because my point of reference, even on that poem, on that piece, was that I see you.
Yeah.
You understand? And as much as I see you, if I could, na benza kupa kulewe. But I can't from the point I'm at. I'm saying, but I truly believe, but it's from that age because I remember as a child, primary I can't ndifundele yonga pepai. So I was here for my higher primary, but some of my lower primary bendisa qonce kulo mama. So I remember a class in there was this girl teaswa a lot, ne? And when I say as a story, I never say her name because we've never met as adults, and the internet is still very vast, and I don't know how she feels about me sharing this story because I feel it would be a violation because Lamda still lives at Genge with those people, you know, we still have access to the same people. So we were friends okanye besivana because of mnanding lamntu ba uba abantu bayaziguzula kuwe okanye make you feel some type of way, I wanna shelter you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yabo. So we were cool mna naye. We'd chill, we'd hang out. They would call her names, kuthiwa unokwimichamo zonke ezaa zinto, you know, snacks, yabo. And nezanwele ziqinileyo. Sibonakalayo ba bazenziwe zinika nje 2 days, a good 2 days. Yeah. So athizwe nangezo zinto. So this one time in this friendship yethu, she tricks me into ba masiyochama kanti wayifuna ubilantyama.
Yeah.
So siyabuya, I'm ready ba manditye lunch.
I was hoping for this story. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Bani ubilantyama. Hey, we try and find the way yale lunch kanti someone saw her. So omnye and Oyeche, the person on Ekhaya uSiphosethu also was not abantu bambulishayo, but she wasn't as close to her as I was, but she would also play with her. USiphosethu andixelele uba kubest chomi yakho whatnot, and I'm shocked, ne? I'm betrayed, I'm hurt, ne? Ba hayibo mna di grand nawe and you do this, and then she starts crying. And it's at that point where she cries, and instead of being angry as a child, I want to understand what would make you do that. Why would you do that to me? I know we're good.
Sure.
We're cool. So after that, ndathi kumakhulu wami ke ngicela ilantshi ye break yokuqala nesibini. Yabo? Because andifuni be ndixela izitori ezininzi ba hayibo. So I became that person ophatha ilantshi ezi-2. Yabo? Amakhulu andincome ba yo waba ne-appetite. Ngomba yo
Appetite is another person.
because when she said bana mna khanditye naphezolo, I was like, you slept. Ungajanga. And as a child, you can't imagine that. Like, it was, I can't comprehend that.
Yeah.
Going to bed, because when I'm hungry, I'm hungry.
And when you're hungry, ukutya is provided for. Isonga
Constantly.
Yeah.
I never have to ndizinkinkishele ba okay banditye ngeli I don't worry about such. I don't worry.
Yeah.
So xa isithi xolo khanditye naphezolo, I'm like, what the hell? And as much as I didn't understand much about poverty, nemeko zasemakhaya, the only thing I understood was, hey, whatever you're going through, girl, irongo.
Yeah.
Yebo? And irongo nje sayifixa ngezilantshi zi-2 to avoid a position where you have to betray me again. Yebo? And at the same time for me to sympathize. So this happens before the poem. Because remember, I'm at lower primary now.
And then you came back to PE.
And
Yeah,
guys
to
are
a higher
by shop up, yabo. Bandizohlala full time now, ebazalini. So I would say I didn't understand myself as a child. I didn't know why, but I've always thought the way I'm thinking. I've always wanted the things I'm doing. Yes,
now.
it's always been the same person, but only with age, the person has grew and matured and found a way to be resourceful and yeah, bo.
Sure. Yeah, so and then it goes back to what I like to say, that who we were as kids, we become.
We become.
I understand, because I don't even think mhlambi you had mhlambi at that age you had a plan.
No.
Okay. Xana 18
No.
zawuthi xana 20.
In fact, I thought it was normal. I thought any person in my shoes would do the same. I didn't know, but
kukho abantu abangagcini ngolo hlobo.
yes, I thought no one's supposed to.
Yo.
So it was the most normal thing for me. I didn't have a plan. There was no structure. There was no goals. There was nothing. It was just my natural state, thinking that the world is exactly like that.
Sure, and there were not even izinto where like homes okanye foundation where you saw
Yeah.
I want to do that. There were bezingekho.
It's just
something
my
that
natural
was born.
state, yeah.
Yeah. Yo, man. Yes. So, you are a mother, you are a partner,
Yes.
you are a wine collector, you are a cook, many amazing things. Yabo?
Yeah.
I want to know, like, when you, because as women, I think we sacrifice. Not saying that men don't sacrifice, but I'm speaking from my point of
Yeah.
view. But as women, we get to sacrifice a lot of women's ba zikhona izinto ziyekayo so that you can take care of izinto, and not even ba uziyeka, but you pause them. We are watching a series ngoku, and lo mama is an artist, so she had to pause a artistry yakhe to become a mother and a wife. And then 15 years later, because the art it will
Yes,
chase
it will
after
always
you.
catch up.
So and then 15 years later, she's back now. She wants to do this thing, and she's still as amazing. So I want to know from you, how do you make sure you you keep your passion, you keep you, like, even if you had to stop doing whatever to focus on something else, how do you
Still.
make sure your passion is kept, even when you have time to go back to those things, you still put
able
on
to.
and bring like more fire,
Yeah.
because I think also with this thing of, like, I think xa uhleli mhlawumbe noba uhleli inyanga okanye unyaka, you need to come back with a new thing.
Yes.
There's no way
Yeah. A
ungahlala
bang.
nje,
Yeah.
and then xa ubuyayo ubuya slow.
Dull
No,
and-
so how I want to know, how do you make sure that doesn't happen to you? How do you make sure you still in connection with everything that you're doing? Because I think izinto esizenzayo, they make us who we are. So when you, like, literally lose totally one thing, you lose a part
part of
of yourself.
Yeah.
So how do you make sure like everything is still
Still intact.
yeah, even if you had to pause a bit for yabo?
I think with me, it's also perspective.
Okay.
You know, state of mind is everything. So, even the term sacrifice, kwalona stigma is still, stigmatized. So for me, it's always I don't see it as a drag, a burdening, resentful thing. I always choose to see it as a action to a reaction.
Yeah.
You understand? I have to do this because I want that. It's the doing what needs to be done
Now.
so that I can do what I want to do then. So it always stems from that place, because then it doesn't carry any negativity. It's just choices that are made, and choices that I believe will later benefit me, because it also matters to me to do this thing that I'm pausing the one for. However, I see it as input and output. I need to this now so that I can flourish to that. So I never lose the fire, because remember, I didn't bring any sort of negativity into that space, into those decisions, into anything. It's a chess game. I decided to move like this, hoping that at the end I win. And the only focus is that I win, not that I played the game to begin with. So I would say the one thing that keeps the fire is perspective, because then I never feel like I'm giving up on anything. I never feel like I'm sacrificing. I feel like I'm doing what needs to be done so that I can do what I want to do. Like, for instance, you will never see anyone esiya kwanhliziyo ndise ehlise ubuso, so if I see that I need to do into ethile, like I remember at some point when I did both varsity and work, I could have chose to just focus on varsity, but that would mean I wouldn't have the money I wanted. I could have chose just to work, but that would mean I wouldn't have the qualification I wanted. So these things had to coexist without me feeling like enye is taking away kwenye. You see? So xana ndisiya ku 7:45 class, I'm not going to a 4 p.m. shift of waitressing. Drag imilenze because ndivele esikolweni. No. I look forward to that.
Game, even there.
Yes, I bought my A game this year, esikolweni kusasa. And I look forward to doing this, because this is something I wanted to do. This is something I chose to do. This is something I need to do, because it matters to me to be able to pay my own rent. It matters to me to buy my own food. It matters to me to cater for my child. It matters to me. So what it gives me in return, it's not really fair to use the term sacrifice in a stigmatized negative way. You understand? So I think for me, into that has always helped me. It's how do you look at these things? They're pausing, they're putting aside, they have to do now. How do you see them, and how do you carry them? That's why you will never, in anything that I've done, I wanted to do it and I gave my all. You will never hear me say, "Ba, that wasted ixesha lam." No, I didn't. I did what I had to do at the time. And if had I not done that, I would not know what I know now.
Now.
So it's always how you choose to just process everything and how the eye in which you choose to look at it.
Yeah.
Poet kaloku mna.
Yo, so Ubuhle Foundation, Umdlezana Initiative. When?
Yo. Hey.
When? Because I think I can imagine, like, those types of things, isn't it, that cause us not to sleep?
They don't.
Yeah, because, like, this and that, I think they're
And
huge. They're bigger than us.
They are. And with everything that I do, with the work that I do, everyone is waiting for a sad story. People want to know about, yo, Shem, oh, I had. Oh, Shem, as umtana, oh no, I had both parents. I come from a warm home where, as a child, I was just a child. I didn't worry. Dandi regular saloon. Dandi relaxa 2 weeks in the treat. I had a schedule. What I do comes from a place of can't imagine anyone not having what I had. I can't imagine umntana uzafuneka understand leba uzawuthenga impahla ze-Christmas kanye uniform yesikolo. I've never had to make those choices as a child. I come from a place of knowing that kungathi ngokusekuphekiwe ndithi, in fact I'll have bread, and I can't imagine a child not having that choice. Not choosing ba uzawutya emini okanye uzawutya ebusuku. Now I could literally choose, but actually I don't feel like ethile. I'll have a sandwich. I don't feel like it. And ukuba ukutya kwecephe namhlanje nomama. I come from that place, and I cannot imagine a child having the burden of not having as a luxuries of being a child when they're supposed to be a child. So Ubuhle comes at a time where 2018 I decided to do a hairdo initiative, because for kids, whether we like it or not, around Christmas, it's a big deal.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter when or what you think Christmas is or what not. We're not supposed to be woke for abantwaneni. Sinengxaki zethu nathi. Yabo. So I best believe in letting them be when they are. Anything else in life, they'll figure it out, but when they are kids, just let them be kids. So I decide that I must do a hairdo initiative, because I always say this even to my partner, that had I been as an adult or or struggling to make ends meet, I'd probably have a salon by now, because it's just something that I had to sacrifice along the way so that ixesha lam can go to other things. So the skill would have way improved by now, because even when I was in grade 11, I used to work weekends at salon. You see, that's how much I've loved izinto ezinentloko phakathi, braids, intoni. So I decided, but I have this skill actually, and I haven't done intloko yomntu in a long time. The only hair I ever do is Amyoli or my sisters. So I was like, it won't take much from me. It's just my time. Fiber is not that expensive. So why don't we start with what we have? Let's start small, Let's get a few kids. It's really not much komo, but it's going to make someone's Christmas. It's going to be a big deal. So that's what I do 2018. And as I'm doing this, I'm thinking about me having a foundation in NPO or anything like that. It's thing of the future, it's still there. I know I want it. I even said at some point that I want it in my 30s, So I know I want to do this thing. So now I'm just doing what I can while I wait for myself. We have this thing of waiting to be ready. We wait to be ready, but to pursue ezinye izinto. Ezinye izinto just tell you, but aye.
So
Ready nini tani? Yabo. So I was that person who's waiting for this, waiting for that, waiting so that I can do these things I want to do. Yes. So while I wait, I decided to do the hairdo, the Christmas hairdo. And everything goes well. I decided to do it again 2019, you know. It's nice, I like it. But then here's the trick. 2019, 6 of those girls were the same of last year, even though my sources were different. And then I I observe, must analyze. I'm like, 2 different sources, same people. How poor can they be? That I get them. Kabini.
And there's no change.
And then I call Bratango or Tangolwetu Soyaya, Feplas. Bratango, man, as umtu who's very involved in community, motivational speaker, and so forth. Ndifuna abantwana banjena man kwa-BF. And umnqakum yile nto bakhanda bafune emntwini omnye. And indihleli le nto izinzile apha kum uba hayibo kaloku abantwaneni bafune ngolu hlobo umuntu bafune ngolu hlobo. But kwaza still. And then he said to me, in short, very brief, anzoba mde wena mamchawu yabona phaa ka-BF abantwana banamakhaya but batya emigqomeni. I'm like, sorry, actually, yes, the normal thing is umntu otya emgqomeni ngumntu ohlala esitratweni. No. Banamakhaya but batya emigqomeni. Itsho imeko yasekhaya. Ithi now and again makayokhangela. And then I'm like, hey, remember the hair we did in December? Now I'm doing follow-up after Christmas because Goglandin took Tezele, took Tezele. Then that is when January 2020, I decided to do the soup kitchen kwa BF. So I'm dibuyele Bratango after digesting what he said. Be like, I'd like to do a soup kitchen there. Be like, I'd be happy. So he mobilizes, he assists and everything, even finds me a venue, everything. At this point, I'm caught up between remember, I'm still not ready to start. But this is starting. I'm caught up. But I can look, you know?
Hold your horses. What horses, guys?
And necessary resources to start. So, and then I get to a point where I'm like, no, let me go all in, but do what I can.
Yes.
And then that is when the name is inspired by a title of one of my poems, which is Ubuhle. Because Ubuhle speaks from an angle of how umntu ekwazi uphalala in front of the entire community, and no one jumps in and help, no one stretches a hand, but everyone has a thing to say. So Ubuhle is that person that they saw you. They saw you falling apart. They saw izinto zingahlangani. They saw your life changing. They saw you losing your parents. They saw you being raped by utata next door umfundisi. They saw you this. They were there, but had nothing to say. But once you got infected, wanqila wathini, they all had something to say. So because Ubuhle has always centered about how ignorant abantu esihlala nabo can be, I decided that it's a fitting name for the organization because I wanted us to be the opposite. I didn't want us to be that community. I wanted us to if ifikile ezandleni or ezindlebeni zethu, it's a problem halved. That is the coexistence of. In fact, I always say, Obohle, it's a place like home because it's not a quick fix. But I can assure you, after having came across or meeting us, you're never alone.
Yeah.
You understand? It's the sister you never had. It's the neighbor you never had. It's the brother you never had. It's a journey. It's knowing that even if lento cannot be fixed or be sorted, but if ingafika ezindlebeni sabantu baka Ubuhle Foundation, we can figure it out together. And that is Ubuhle. That is our core function.
Yeah.
So I felt that because the poem articulates how umntu falls apart, not ekude qelele pha apha phambi kwenu. But no one does anything, but everyone has something to say at the end. And I think that's what frustrates me. I don't mind you doing nothing, but gaske kungabi nayo nento yothetha. I can live
reactions to
to those.
yeah.
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 I can live with that. I can live with you saying, no, I don't owe the world anything. No, it's not a must in my city.
help.
Yeah, it's fine. It's not. But also, it's none of your business how it ends
Yeah.
for them. You see?
Whether good or bad.
Yes, yes. My frustration comes when now, all of a sudden, you ndandimbona. Kaloku, why sit? And where were you? Kuthi umuntu ongumama ozeleyo uthetha ngomntana next door. Ndandimbona. Really? And then? And
the
then what happened?
society has turned into that.
Yes.
Because even like, noba ungarojwa estratweni urojwa abantu bekhona bebukele.
Yes.
And abantu bengenzi nix.
You bengasoze afike kumetric laa mntana ngelaa nyawo lakhe.
But kwathini wena ungambuyisi as umzali because uyambona mos. Because I think yabona umama always said ba mandingene ngo-6 endlini.
Yeah.
And for the longest time I didn't understand. Azange ndabethwa ke mna ke ekhaya. But that yayenza relationship yethu ingabi right. And until I understood she has lived more than me.
Yes.
Therefore uyayazi after 6 kwenzeka ntoni. And then I need to do exactly what she says I should do so that i-relationship yethu ibe right. So imagine if la mama next door xa eyazi umntu xa ibaleka ngepace engohlobo i-end
This
goal
is-
ithi.
and
And so that ayinqande ingekafikeleli
And
phaya.
remember, it's not a guarantee. I remember this in waitressing, that my then manager would say, sell it dessert at every table. No one might order, but someone might. So saying to umntana ongengo wakho, no, it's not a guarantee.
Uza kumamela.
But it might save omnye that can, or might not listen in that particular moment
Time,
in
yeah.
time and place. But
Izawubuya later aqomba. Okay. Mandibuyumva.
because you see even the rate of amabhinqa losing their lives to their partners, it's always there's always umntu wayeyiqonda yapho yho ndandiyiqonda ndazibona ezaa mpawu yho laa mfana wayethe laa mfana wayelinda laa mfana was not healthy wayemsusa ezitshomini everyone has seen this. We know the script and we let someone live the story over and over and over again until imele igqobele esandleni. Why? Why? Funeka kuthini? Ube ngowakho.
Sure. So
Look,
that's why you exist. That's why Kukwele Pepo was
Yeah.
Foundation.
I guess because I don't want to be that person.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I never want to be. If I have nothing better to say about anything or situation yomdu, then
Let it be.
I have nothing to say.
Yeah.
Even bad. If I have nothing better to say, rest assured I have nothing bad to say.
Hey, son. And then Umdlezane initiative.
Umdlezane. Even when, remember, I was waiting to be ready.
Yeah.
Even as I'm waiting to be ready, I never quite thought Umdlezane would find me the way it did. I say find me because it was not part really of where Obuhle is going. It was not even on our, it was not even part of our portfolio. Umdlezane actually, you result your COVID. Someone, the thing is with when
Just
you
like Ekhaya sessions.
yes. So people are now aware. People are becoming aware that we have this soup kitchen. I'm starting this foundation and inezi objectives ngolu hlobo. Even though the full details are not known, but kuyaziwa ba ufuna uncedwa ungamtacha kanjani yebo. She might not be the right person for lento izeleyo, but she might know someone who knows someone or so forth. So with the COVID-19 the rumors, I say rumors because I never followed if it's facts or not. Ndifonelwa kuthiwa awunayo indlela or awazi mntu who can donate impahla zomntana. Kukho umdlezane eDora oxakwe kuphuma iDora ngenzi iphelele. Apparently iDora ngenza they also have a side where you can donate and they usually give to aba bangenanto, but abanazo emva pha eDora ngenza. He? Ngoku ingxaki inqashi ile girl funeka iphumile. The girl was from Ezinyoka. Okay. I'm not one get to say no, call my name. Yabo? And then was tell impahla zomntana, but okusalayo
Uzawuphuma pha enempahla.
isetafuleni yam ngoku. And everything must stop because
Kukho le
impahla zomntana.
Yeah.
I make some calls. And kwakulo mntu ndibuzayo, I'm like, wait, let me, ndifuna uthi no. Khandinike nje good hour. And then I make a few calls, and then people, I find someone, and then get donator, then fumanike ezimpahla. And then I'm thinking, if this one comes to my attention, bangaphi that are going through the same thing. And kuthiwa kwa iDora licala libanazo impahla kudonethwa kuzo alinazo. Then, spare of the moment, I'm like, okay, umntana unceda baby essentials into umdlezane maslo.
So let's put it out there.
Yeah, sayenza bende. Okay, next initiative, umdlezane pha kubuhle. And then umdlezane, the response, the donations, the clothes. Hey, saphela space apha kum endlini. Anaplan was no umdlezane
You know, it's something that needs to be done.
It's a provision. And a storage and a nix. Different baby clothes, but because
That's the land of necessitated about not being ready. Because if bangabantu buzawufuna ba ready, buzawufuna okay, xa ndine storage, then zawuqala
I was
this
thinking
initiative.
when you win
And
the
then like,
house.
No, now.
Different win the house.
Yeah,
Different or sabu caravel pie back. Different into. Ezawuhlala ezinto. Ngoku
In the meantime, ingekafiki caravan.
I'd even
Kuyafuneka siqhube.
dibene cheeky if the kids are like bana sisahlala bezinto sikamhlaba. Sindibuza izinto bethu sizawuhlala apho kusalayo. Sizawuhlala ndawo ezinto zikamdlezane. And then I'm thinking about, okay, I personally, I want to make a difference. And as much as I don't like the hand and mouth approach. Andithanda umuntu okuthi ngoko and they boom and then they're gone. There's something about it that it's not, I don't think it's my style. So I'm thinking ke ukuba hey abadlezane ke ngoku sabathi ngokwenza impahla dimfi. I don't know kwenzeka ntoni in the other aspects of their lives. I don't know if they're coping with parenting. I don't know this, I don't know that. Umntu uphethe ntoni esandleni kwathini. Now umdlezane.
Even yena.
Yes. Yena njengoba ebusy ethe ngumntana, what about yourself? Then I collect for the mothers. And then I'm like, no, there must always be skills development. And then I remember that at some point, myself and Usisanda, we wanted to collect clothes. And then sis distribute in a shopping style. Ne? Then I go
like
to
that.
yeah. Then I go to Sisanda. I say, you remember that idea we spoke of? Ati yes, I remember. Ndithi ndihijackwe ile way ingumdlezane. Ndithe gabhu kumdlezane ngoku. And I never anticipated any of it, but it just made sense that I know of I've already had an idea of distributing clothes. Yebo? So as much as it was gonna be our thing, can I do it? And then she was like, that's fine, my baby, as long as the work gets done. I'm focused on uliqhawe ngoku besi we nathi it's something we wanted to do. We weren't even gonna venture into it immediately. So perfect, because I loved the idea that they get to pick and leave it if it's not a preference yakhe, without not feeling guilty bandiyaphiwa, you know.
Nambulelo anantontoni.
You see, it's not my preference. I don't like it. So it gives them, which goes back to uvakamandi that. So that is when you go, okay, let's do the shopping style. So umamuzao there's a shopisha. The same feeling they would get if angafumani sentana aye mall uzofika into zomntana nice apha quality great ashopishe anikwe so skill, which is that's when I okay, there must be something quick and nice. Yabo. So skills development that can be done in like an hour or two. Yabo, not into that needs over and over. So, and before I knew it, hayibo mdlezane, hey hi, iyazikhulela uyazenzela iyazithini. And now it's a still a very small community, but it's a community, you know.
So the end goal for you, like, I know but you'd love to help a lot of people, but like you can't. But I wanna know ba kuzobe, like, at what point where you feel like, okay, you know what? Yeah.
I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
Honestly, the end goal for me, I would say, kokuqala, I've recently discovered I want umdlezane to branch out. So umdlezane, because yinto that found me, it keeps surprising me. So but no, I wanted to have its own wings and fly, because there is so much just for Yona.
Yodwa.
And as an initiative under Ubuhle Foundation, I feel like I won't do it justice. So for me, I would want one, Ubuhle kuthiwe nansi building, nansiya Ubuhle Foundation. And when you walk in, it's a matter of ingxaki yakho izo-redirectela kweyiphi room. Which side are you going? I want us at least to have a minimum of 1,000 kids in our database. Yabo. I'm happy with more if the resources namandla allow. But I'm saying at least one would be 1,000 kids that can just walk in and know that by walking in, their problems are automatically halved. If they can be part of us and we journey with them up until bakhule, bazimela, yabo. So I just want 1,000 kids to be able to say anazihlangu zesikolo, and it's a matter of going to the storeroom and saying funa size bani.
Yeah, ningafuneka uba ndizadibanisa
Yes,
1+1
yes. I'd
kuyothenga
want us
sister.
to be so together that a young woman, a young male can just walk in and say, I'm struggling, I'm battling. Mental health is very important to me. And it's a matter of go this side, you know? Iti ngolhlobo. No, I have too much on my plate and there's mantin. Iyangapha. It's just a matter of uzongena phi, as long as it's part and parcel of our primary objectives. As for umdlezane, I see just beautiful atmospheres, sisterhood retreats, book clubs, just a growing community on its own that says, bana, just because ungumdlezane and you happen to come from a disadvantaged background, it doesn't mean you must carry yourself with shame now. Doesn't mean you can't look smart.
Reclaim your dignity.
It doesn't mean you cannot not like books. Because you don't like books. No, you can. You can read a book. You can be interested in it, no matter what you think of yourself. And I think more than anything, that is what Umdlezane wants to instill, that your disadvantages are not your excuse to think so little of yourself. Yeah. So if we can get to that place where it can be okay for Umdlezane, who happens to be disadvantaged or not has their life together where they want to be, to still be happy and enjoy life and not be apologetic as to how dare that you be this excited about a movie coming out. Yes, I didn't finish Matric, but did you see the new movie coming out?
Sure.
Just live and know that as long as it's a pillar, if you want, you can turn your life around anytime when you decide to, but it's time.
Yeah. Whew. Yeah, sawuthetha uye sakuye. I want to say everything that you want and need for the way it's gonna be provided for. I think already Life Yako has done that, because when you're someone that doing the Lord's work, I was saying this the other day, but even nature listens to you.
Yeah.
Like iwethi yama wenza umsebenzi xa ugqibayo yenzeke isivunguvungu sayo iqhubekeke naloo nto ibiyenza. That's how I see yonke lena. So each and everything that ozayidinga for this thing to come into a full circle, it's gonna come to pass. Guys, if there's anyone that can donate whatever okanye help Sindiso to another height, please do. Contact details zakhe and other stuff, we'll leave it on the description below. So please, yo, I want to say so much, but yeah, So yeah, man, guys, this is Sindiso Sunflower. Thank you so much for honoring this.
Thank you so much for having me.
Ane, yeah, igama lam ndinguvuyiseka Maguga, also known as Love Child, and these are Ekhaya Conversations right here on Ekhaya Sessions. Diabulela kakhulu.
What did you know?